is, I have when I say I'm anti-establishment, if I find something, I don't go digging for dirt. Like if you've been divorced or anything like that, I go off what you put out publicly and what you say you're standing on. And so I've seen him say that Black Lives Matter was a legit movement, and then in the last forum that I wasn't at, he brought it up and then kind of tweaked how he said it. And so I put the clip. You may have seen it. I put the clip together showing that he said it, and that I didn't say it. I played the clip of him saying it. So, yeah. So my thing is, how do you get the endorsements from the police associations if you're saying that Black Lives Matter, an organization that says defund the police, who's out there burning and looting businesses out here? So, like, how can you say that, regardless of anything that happens, there is law and order. People can get justice if something is done wrong to them. We have laws in place for that. But going and destroying people's properties and businesses is not the solution.
So how would you handle if a bunch of people came up, like how it happened in Minnesota, and they said, "Hey, we want you to defund the police"? How would you handle that?
The answer is no. We're not going to defund the police. That's not the solution to the problem. So what the solution is, if we want to make sure we have good police departments, they have the proper training, they have the resources they need, and also they have making sure there's a community involvement, where the police actually have the relationship with the community. And I think one thing is, what we can start doing is stop focusing so much on trying to pull people over for tickets or busted taillights, and focus more on the actual crime in the city, and really utilize the police for protecting and serving, initially what they're used for. And I think that would really help the community have more trust in the police department, and also really use them for what they were here for in the first place.
Okay, so up here in Michigan, we have traffic stops, and they write tickets like there's no tomorrow. I would take it they do something similar to that in Texas, right? Well, in Michigan, it seems to be driving revenue. How do you feel about that? How do you feel about these 5 over speed limit stuff? Which, I mean, yes, it's an infraction, but me personally, actually, I want to know how you feel about it. Tell me how you feel.
I feel like that we definitely should not be using the police department to raise money for the city. We've already had property taxes. We already have all these sales tax. You're sucking the people dry. So that should not be included in the budget for the city. They're there for a particular reason. We don't have the fire department hitting some kind of particular quota against the residents in order to raise money. So I think that, honestly, that if we really, the crime would go down a whole lot if it's really focusing on that, opposed to trying to find tickets. We discussed before, some of these things are infringing on people's rights, because you should have the right to choose. The seatbelt example I gave you last time, if you want to wear a seatbelt or not, that shouldn't open the door for the police officer to go search your car or give you a ticket.
I agree. I think that people in America need to start actually flexing their rights, not just coming out and saying, hey, it's just an inconvenience, just let it happen. I think that people need to actually stand up and fight for that. And I see that a lot of confrontations between police officers and civilians, when people do start to practice their rights, sometimes the police officers do get agitated. They're supposed to be trained to de-escalate a situation. So this whole thing between police brutality and then the Black Lives Matter and all that stuff, I think that there is some common ground on both sides of that. Now I don't want everybody to think that I'm saying something that I'm not. I'm not personally a fan of rioting and killing and hurting people whatsoever. I also think that there are some things that are called injustices that aren't typically injustices. But what I'm saying is, there are times where police do escalate a situation. I think that we need to have change on both sides here. So I don't think we should defund the police. Then keep on doing that. But how do you feel about how police are interacting with the civilians around there? Do you feel as if they need a little bit more training with de-escalating it? Or do you feel should there anything be changed with the police officers in general? How do you feel about that?
Well, I'm going to go based off of what I've been hearing. I've heard people have had issues with the local police department. They felt they were treated unfairly, and also they felt harassed. And that has nothing to do with any kind of race or anything like that. And that's the point when it comes to training. And myself personally, my experience with the department is different than other people's experience. So I think it needs to be a across the line training where they perform and do things a similar way. And I'm not. And my other thing is with this is everyone thinks this, they see the cops, and in the month it's quota time. We see a whole bunch of cops sitting on the side of the road. Some departments will deny it and say that's not going on, but what we're seeing is police officers everywhere at the end of the month. Look,
okay. So you're not a fan of that? Okay, that's definitely, we're definitely on the same page with that one, sure, for sure. Because like that's what police officers are for. They're here to protect and serve the community, not be sharks and make it to where everybody needs to fall in line. Because that's what the way it is now. It's hey, look out, there's a cop. Make sure that you're doing everything right. And like, a lot of people don't feel safe with police anymore because obviously media is not helping with that whatsoever either. But yeah, I think that we have very similar views on that. Absolutely. So, go ahead.
And I think with me as a leader and pushing those things in our community, that would be great, because I don't hear anyone else doing those things or talking about those things. And even for a city to even consider taking that route with the community and helping with the police relationship with the residents. Because I think a lot of people feel a whole lot better if they see a cop and they just know they're there to protect and serve them, instead of trying to find a reason to give them a ticket, or them feeling like that I speed 1 mile or 2 miles over the speed limit. Like that anxiety can be lifted and people can feel more comfortable with the police department.
Absolutely. I think I like Arlington more already.